All right. Now, Asmongold is right about something. People see the burning Teslas, and he's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry. When the right wing does this and targets some company that everybody on the left likes, then you're going to see it." The thing is, though, I was sitting back and I'm like, no. That's because that's not how we do. But then I thought about it by looking at some of the headlines this morning and on my fucking phone, because for some reason, just making sure that a whole fucking building has its internet connection seems to be too difficult. I swear to God, the shit that's too difficult for people to do in Oregon sometimes does kind of fuck with me. But anyway, so he's right in this. Yeah, now I'm like, yeah, impeach judges. No. Democrats should have no power. We're now being given, and this is actually the beauty of what Trump is doing. Because Asmongold is absolutely right. Look, one of the homies. Cold chilling. Asmongold is right about this. Yes, we're going to curb stomp the left when we finally get the chance. And it's going to be, though, metaphorical, where it's basically going to be taking away all their powers and putting them in like the ghost catcher from Ghostbusters, like putting them in that. They're trapped in limbo forever, like that weird prison mirror thing. That Zod was General Zod was trapped in the early Superman movies. That was not a very special effect, but it was an effect, But it's Superman, way back in the day. So, but yeah, that's how we're going to have to do the Democrats. That they get to watch as we remake their world, as we remake America. We have to make sure they have fundamentally no say, because they're doing nothing to help now. And now even AOC is becoming tied to what is fundamentally quasi-criminal, quasi-terrorist sentiments. She's getting closer and closer. And then this Democratic Socialists of America bullshit. And it's all being funded by this former Nazi, this weird turncoat Jew who's a Nazi who tries to infect countries with homosexuality to destabilize them. Actually destabilized Ukraine, admitted it, and then put Nazis in charge of it. And nobody will deal with that. Nobody will deal with it. Neither side will deal with it, because once you trace back who were these Nazis, it's going to trace back to the Bush family. And it's going to undermine everything that almost every old guard Republican was for. Because they're going to start finding out, this is really weird. You guys seem to have generational memory of these really weird World War II philosophies living on and kind of misguiding nations. Because a lot of people don't get, there was an Israeli fascist party once. I like to make sure to remind people of this. It was a very short-lived thing, but it existed. So it's people don't really get no. There's an element of powerful people that they totally believe in. As soon as we can make it legal to just totally mog people. And so now we're starting to see it. So I thought, let's walk through how somebody like me saw through it all, or some of the stages of this, or some of that kind of thing. I was like, you just walk back through it. Have your coffee. Walk back through what are you thinking about? You got a problem. Walk back through it, son. Where'd you leave it? Go backwards. Where'd you put it last? So, when researching how the present financial system even exists. That's when you typically find out that, oh wait, no, the Democratic Party has no problem with the system as it is. Because you end up finding out like that they never bring up things about the financial system that if they were to bring that up, if they were to try to change that through legislation, they would win. The Republicans have done this. The Republicans have now decided that that's how they're going to win from now on, because that's the interest of the constituent base. So you have this issue of starting in like the 2010 through about 2013 era, the whole thing of the Tumblristas and social justice warriors. And now social justice is apparently back in some way, in one form or another, but I've even heard those words come up again. Like somebody had like a bio or something and it said social justice or something like that. And it was that I think this was one of the judges possibly who's been up to no good. We need to impeach judges. We need to get them to the point where there's a constitutional crisis and that they keep pushing stuff, and that the Trump administration appeals. And remember, now that we know the Trump administration has control of the DOJ, these appeals are happening much faster than we even know about. Like, note how early in the day you'll hear a judge stop this, and then you don't hear another story about it. And then you hear from the right, oh yeah, that this was done, blah blah blah, this was filed, and that a federal judge said this, that, and this. And overruled the district court. But now we're getting a distinct understanding of how this works. That there's a certain level of the judiciary that they coordinate to punish people who aren't in their political party. And that's now clear. And that they coordinate. And that the left openly coordinates with then people who will light things on fire. They'll show up to places and light things on fire, and then they coordinate with the media to say, no, it was just a protest. Lighting things on fire is totally just protest. It's not arson. So yes, Asmongold, you're correct. When we get to curb stomp the Democrats and make them cry, we're going to. When we're going to take everything from them. We're going to take their coats. The Department of Education thing, he's no one's going to beat him on that. Congress will just fucking yeet. They'll yeet it. And they're going to have to. There's no such thing as a Republican who votes against Trump now. That's a person who used to be in the party. It was a person who used to have a political career. That's what that's called. We've got to do it like that because you're bad people. You're really, really bad fucking people. We have to defend you against yourselves. It's just, that's where it's at now. Like, how are we supposed to protect women when the women are lenient on the criminal class consistently? That they have no problem with people victimizing black people as long as it stays in black land, as long as it doesn't bother them, hey, only it's the women getting raped are only criminals who are in jail, it's not, obviously they shouldn't have gone to jail. But then beyond this idea of, so you're defending the Department of Education, yet you've successfully not taught generations of people fundamental grammar. Fundamental grammar. You could see it on the internet. The way that people type things, the way that young people speak, all these interviews, like going back to the Kevin Samuels period, that you could hear these people these women are like, I be college educated. I be having so much college education. And that this even happened on like CNN or MSNBC, that like some black chick flipped out talking about how she's so educated, but she sounds ridiculous. She sounds like a fucking clown. Her grammar's terrible, and she can't help but break into y'all'll-be. You know, and I'm now starting to just y'all-be, because that's what they do. Y'all be ... Y'all be umpty wumpty dumpty. Y'all be, so y'all be. That's what the language is called. Mush mouth, like southern inner city garbage fucking language of black people who don't want to be clearly understood by people who speak English. You know, otherwise they would just say things that could be clearly understood. No, they're talking like that because of when you're around people who lack vocabulary and fundamental grammar skills, there's only so much you could really talk about in any depth. How do you discuss big ideas when you don't know how to speak? This is why there's no really powerfully influential black podcast or anything like that outside of, to me, it's the Hoodservative and the other boys of the Gulag Gang. They're the only ones who like bring up big ideas. You know, from what I understand, it's like, you know, Umar and Tariq, they're still stuck on, you know, how much more can we worship black women, and how will that suddenly make everything better? Like, good, yeah, you keep doing that. You keep doing that, boys. We'll win. You keep doing that. Which I think Tariq has recently kind of changed a little on this, but I don't care. He's just too preposterously ridiculous. And also at times not. There's been a few things he said here and there, and Dr. and Umar, whatever homie's even a doctor of. I always love that. I'm a doctor. I love that. There's two jokes about doctor. There's the one like, was it Reinhard Galen meets with Adenauer and meets with Dr. Hans Globke as they're discussing how they're going to construct the post-Nazi German Empire. This is a real thing, totally real. This is known. That's what the EU is. And they would joke. He jokes in his memoir that they would all refer to each other as doctor. Now, somebody might be like, no, that's in that movie with the guy riding the nuclear missile. Said, no, that's the point. Somehow, even that guy, even Kubrick knew about this at the time, which it would make sense because I believe Galen's memoir was published by that time, but I'm not absolutely sure. I'd have to take a look. And then the other is, I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor of ancient African philosopher. I'm a doctor of ancient Africa, you know. So what we have is kind of this weird party that seems to have at its core these socialist white women that don't see what they're doing as legislating themselves jobs. This is a phrase I didn't come up with. This is a libertarian type of phrase about liberals and the way that they do things. This person got into, no, liberals legislate themselves jobs. That's how the left pretty much get jobs in government. That's how they get these sweet positions. They legislate it. This is what DEI, for everybody who's a critic of DEI, and all that kind of stuff. Actually, I better get going. That for all the DEI stuff and all that, that again, legislating jobs. That it's not that these were people who that there was a reason for them to have a job and that they did it well. Now now the information that we have is no, this was legislated so that fundamentally it's like what the mob does when they give you a job you don't have to show up to, but you got to tell your parole officer, yeah, I've got a job, don't worry. That's what it was. That's what DEI was. That's what, and this idea that to a lot of the reason why now a lot of people understand this, who are especially of the libertarian end. This would be like, oh, well, what you're implying there is that Democrats sort of see the world from the point of view of a criminal or a come-up artist. The cynicism of the left that's intrinsic in that culture is of that point of view. That the world is this crooked place, that society is inherently evil and crooked. It takes the beautiful thing like government work or a teacher and distorts it. And to them, what they're doing is, well, as long as we put good people into these positions, our friends, people who agree with us, then what we'll get is this, out of a terrible world, we'll have this one good thing, this one good governmental organization that will do what we want. And anybody opposed to this is a part of the evil world and is a part of like sort of this almost phantasmagoria that's working against them. That is the Putlerini, Volodadolf Putlerini. And without this kind of worldview, we're really, really good. Our ideas do not need to be proven out. We're a good portion of us. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You already fucked up. So enough of us are such good people, and women, because women are inherently better than men in their worldview. You guys opposing this, you are and then it's a series of oppressive phrases. And they're always working against the hydra of the Tiamat, of the oppressive powers of oppression, and it's this weird world that is low trust. Democrats are inherently low trust people. And the right is not some kind of reflection turned upside down or something. The right really is quite inherently different. This idea that, well, people are flawed, people will try to do what is good for their individual outcomes. People are not really guided toward altruism easily, and that it takes great motivation to make people altruistic and generous and charitable, and that this requires like really an entire buttressing part of the culture that keeps maintaining that. All societies with some kind of like Buddhist societies would agree with this. Confucian society would agree for the most part with this, and it's the underdeveloped morality of the left. This immature thing developed by pretty much a bunch of European writers who are losers. And guys with unkempt beards and shit, that they had some kind of insight on humanity that now, we're having stuck up our ass by old fat white chicks. Then there's that issue. that this has become quite clearly an old fat white chicks thing. That's the constituency group that really is feeling ass hurt over Trump. That they are so angry that upside down legs Hillary Clinton didn't get elected. They're so angry that Kamala Harris didn't get elected. They take this so personally, as a personal affront. You know, how could you not elect a woman? How can you not elect a woman to that there office there? And so now we all have to face these old hoes justifying terrorism. And just like back in the 60s and 70s, when the people, the weathermen and such like, were doing this kind of thing, and that really liberals, you never heard about this from liberals. You never hear liberals going, yeah, that went too far, that wasn't good, threatening to blow up, planting bombs at police stations, that wasn't good. That was definitely not where we should have taken things. But it doesn't matter now, because that's where they did take things back in the 1970s, and so now we got them dead to rights now. And there's not really that many generations of these types of people left, because really a big part of what we're kind of getting from the baby boomers is something's horribly fucking wrong with these people. That's now the next thing. That's the part that Asmongold was right about, in a way, that I've recently caught on to, and I'm finding it kind of interesting. So at some point, what the deal comes out being is that what you have are all these younger people that they are pissed at boomer liberals. Boomer liberals really better watch out, as this is one of these that I can tell you is watching right now. I'm like, no, there's a process now. And now we've got the people who could start doing things that are procedural. So it's like, Bondi and people, oh, no, you can't do this. You were only elected. Oh, this is totally legal, but, we're going to say that it's the worst thing ever since Putlarini. And then what ends up happening, Bondi gets it to a certain level. Of course, this is within their constitutional powers. The Democrats can eat shit off of a stick. And so the thing is, you guys keep taking it to the point of violence over and over and over again. And this is, at a certain point, there's going to be younger people who are going to be like, okay, challenge accepted. Every time Antifa showed up and somebody was there to oppose them, Antifa got beat down. They got beat the fuck up. Everybody wants to see Antifa thrown into prisons so that the prisoners can show them what the prisoners think of them. Everybody wants to see, like a very large portion of America wants to see the left get what they deserve. They want to see it. And everybody's getting this, and this is going to keep building as long as the left keeps doing what they're doing, which they have to, because they're damaged goods. They're broken. They're broken, defective pieces of shit. Their morality is defective and inferior. Their way of, they can't organize, actually. They actually can't organize. If they could organize, they would have 70% approval. They can't organize because nobody wants to be a part of what they're a part of. Nobody wants to be a part of their fucking movement, really. They don't want to be associated with trannies raping women in prisons, which now, this is the thing, is now this is where the whole thing on the left dies, is tranny land. You die on Brokeback Mountain, leftists, because nobody believes that there's anything called science that says men or women. This is something quite specific now to this weird group of college-educated white liberal females. And almost only them. There's almost no other group that has, in such large numbers, simply believes this idea. An idea that has nothing in any field of knowledge to back it. There is no epistemology. There is no real science behind it. Anything like that. This is some kind of pretense that we all have to go along with because of the inordinate power of overweight, white, boomer, liberal women. And what it is that they're just showing everybody, we have savings. We have mortgages. We are important because, we're important because we hold a lot of debt. It's idiocy. Total idiocy. And the beautiful part is it's this thing of like, no. So now what it is Trump is actually, and this is kind of one of the neat things, a lot of this pulling away of federal money, a lot of this also means when the going gets tough, a lot of blue enclaves are going to have to come begging. Now it's being made very clear. This is what they're really afraid of. They know, they're like, we actually can't keep a lot of these places going. We can't really keep a lot of where the places that we live, places that we dominate, we really can't keep them going without federal money propping it up. Without that college, we can't do it. And then the thing is, so the federal government won't give us money. Well, we'll use our endowment. We have an endowment, and with our endowment, we will teach the youth. Well, the beautiful part about that is like, go for it. Use your endowment. Eat up that seed crop. Because the degree doesn't pay. That's the other part of it. See how long people will sign up for it if you use your endowment to pay for it. I think that one won't last very long. And so this is the hill that they're going to die on, but it's the terrorism that's going to get them stomped out. So they'll be all tuckered out up there on Brokeback Mountain, and then it'll be easy hunting from that point. All right, take care.